call the Township Board Meeting to order at 7:05. Okay. It's the April 14th, 2026 regular board meeting of the Tuscarora Township Board of Trustees. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Okay, we have Tom.
Here.
Lori.
Here.
Trudy.
Here.
Laura here. John is absent.
Yes. He's out on flood duty.
We still have a quorum. Oops, my bad.
Okay. Board member conflict of interest statement? No?
No.
None? Public comment on agenda items, please. Given a time?
Yes.
Hi, folks. I just wanted to drop by and talk about sewers. And I just briefly wanted to thank Steve. Steve, could you stand up? Steve, I don't know if you know that or not, but Steve is a big member of the engineering team that's doing phase 1 and phase 2. And I just wanted to publicly thank you. During my tenure, you were just great. And even after I left, I saw you in the neighborhood every day, and it was just incredible, everything you've done. He's a retired Coast Guard commander, by the way.
Mm.
And I just wanted to thank you and wish you all the best on behalf of all of us. Thank you so much. And also, I wanted to thank Aaron. Aaron, could you, for those that don't know Aaron Nordman from Performance Engineering in Charlevoix has been the township's engineer since 2020. And he has stood by us thick and thin. I know I drove you nuts for 4 years, but it's so great having a company that is not out of Detroit, not out of Chicago, not out of Madison, Wisconsin, and not out of Washington, D.C. And the owner, one of the owners of the company, is always in our backyard. So the last time I talked to USDA, just to share something with you and for the board, they've told me several times that this is one of the biggest projects for USDA rural development in Michigan that has had the least amount of problems, the least amount of change orders, and we're pretty much on time and on budget, right? So that's all due to you. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to thank you for doing that. For the board, real quick, so I can get out of here. Your sewer advisory committee, I think that's great. I would just ask you to consider sending a notice to every customer in the commercial district phase 1, phase 2, and the proposed phase 3. Tell them that you're going to have an advisory committee, invite them to apply. But more importantly, I would encourage you to consider bringing Steve Mann in for the very first meeting of your advisory committee, and have Steve Mann, who is the expert in all things sewers in the state of Michigan, train your people. You want to set up your advisory committee for success. And sewers are hard, especially when you're trying to do new phases, close out old phases. It's just tough, as you've all learned. You know, you got criteria sheets, you got the ordinance. So I just hope that you'll give these folks some training when you select them, and give them a way to be successful, because they may have a great idea, but it may not be right, or it may not be legal. The only other thing I saw on the agenda real quick was your new hires, and I didn't see a job description in the board packet or any of the pay, so I hope you'll go over that. I would encourage you to just table that and have a special meeting and talk about what your requirements are going to be for the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next 5 years. With all these sewers, are you going to need a DPW, or are you going to need somebody with accounting experience? Do you want that person to be your grant administrator?
325.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Vicki Morgan, and I am employed with the Indian River Chamber of Commerce. And on your agenda tonight, you have the Chamber of Commerce reciprocal agreement. This is specifically related to the bathrooms, an arrangement that we have for the township who actually has control of those bathrooms, cleaning it, and the use of the chamber well. I want to thank the Township Board on behalf of the members, our Board of Directors, and everyone who's flushed a toilet in the public restroom.
There you go.
That it is a great marriage with use of this restroom. We have some people who come and use that restroom every single morning. And so I just want you to know we thank you. We hope this will forge more relationships with the township and the chamber, which by the way is under renovation if anyone has seen it. And we're excited about what that's going to do and how that's going to look and all of the great things that we can do together cooperatively. If you move sideways, you go nowhere. You must move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And it does look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't want you to stay any longer. Be happy. You go ahead. Okay.
I want to speak to the agenda item, the correspondence, and the one email in particular that was included in the packet at the request of the writer. And I really am disappointed in what I read there. I thought the comments were totally inappropriate. I don't know what he was thinking. Jay's entitled to his opinion, but I think to try and politic and influence people who read the packets or read their social media or whatever, it's got to stop. Jay had his opportunity when he was clerk. One of the things that was included in the packet, which I already had my own copy back on 11/8/24, the previous board held a meeting to meet with the new board members before they were sworn in to tell them what the board to-do list is. It was on 11/8. The board didn't even wasn't sworn in until I can't remember, the 17th or the 19th of November. There are things on here that he doesn't complain about in his letter, but perhaps he should have, because some of the things that they passed on this to-do list was mail billing notices to new sewer customers in late November, and this was given to the board on 11/8, and they weren't sworn in until the end of November. And there are several things that are here, problems that were passed on, that I think that the previous board should have the responsibility of at least preparing a way for the new board. I think that's the polite thing to do. So it started when I read the comment on the Parks Commission on social media a week ago or whenever it was, and I was at the Parks Commission meeting, and I didn't get anything from that meeting that was reported in social media, and the person, I'm sure, that wrote it, who was anonymous, wasn't at the meeting, because there were only Jane McGinnis, Dawn Webb, and me that were the people that participated in the audience. So how they're getting their information, why they feel they have the right to create ideas or listen to their buddies and misinterpret it, the old whisper the secret around the circle kind of thing, and it comes out entirely differently. It's time for that to stop. I think our board, including our supervisor, is doing an outstanding job in a very difficult situation. And I'll remind you once again, at the special meeting, I said, you're paying these folks, the three top people, $24,000 a year, and you're paying your, whatever the other two.
Trustee, the trustees.
Lunch money.
Yeah.
So I think it's about time that when we're talking about new projects, how much is the township willing to put on? I think we need, as this township has grown, and we're very proud of it through volunteers and excellent leadership, that we revise or relook at what we're spending our money on and stop doing these grand and glorious projects that have to be maintained, only there's never any maintenance money. So I applaud you all on what you're doing on the sewer. It's a very difficult time. I also would question, I know Mr. Rietzema is not in any of the sewer districts. I think it's time,
I'm right here, Sal.
I have to speak to the board. Isn't that what the rules and the regulations say?
I didn't say that, I just.
That phase one, now as it's about to become active, that there ought to be special meetings. It is a special assessment district. It's nice that people want to come and listen, but they don't have the right to comment when you go through your phases. And phase two needs a meeting like that, perhaps commercial sewer needs a meeting like that, because we're all paying for that as a part of a special assessment district. And it's nice that we have people that come in and comment from the outside. But in fact, they're not actually invested.
Good, good point, thank you.
Hi, my name is Janet Vance, and concerning the Chamber of Commerce contract, I have no issue with how the outcome has. I have an issue with the process. I've looked at all the available evidence concerning the Chamber of Commerce 2025 agreement, and I am astonished at the chutzpah of Supervisor Mays. She must think the people of this township are either the lowest IQ individuals she's ever met, or she thinks she is untouchable to do anything she wants, as long as she can come up with some kind of plausible cover-up. So let's break this down. Number one, she read a to-do list and assumed that that was the same as board authority to renegotiate an existing contract. Wrong. Number two, she declared an existing contract void, and somehow this voided agreement gave her the ultimate authority to write a new agreement without board authority. Wrong. She engaged Township Attorney Hoop to draft an agreement as far back as early May 2025, and she was actively involved with the writing and revisions of this agreement, but it never occurred to her that she may want to inform the board and get approval. Not only wrong, but very disrespectful of her fellow board members. The Chamber President, Ann May, signed the document July 24th of 2025 and didn't inform her fellow board members until 3 weeks later, August 12th. According to her explanation, she penned the date in later, but she just so happened to pick the same date as when the Chamber President signed it as well. So 3 weeks before the board approved. So she openly admits to either doing it wrong in the first place or altering a public document after that. Interesting. I don't think her explanation would hold up in the court of law. So as you can see by the timeline, she had numerous opportunities to bring the board into this negotiation, but declined to do so. Only a fool would believe her explanations of numerous OMA violations, as well as her admission of altering public documents, and we are not fools. Supervisor May seems to believe she is running the township by herself and only going to the board for rubber stamp approval, and that is a systemic failure of the entire board. My advice, call a special meeting, take the to-do list, which was a courtesy of a list that was done for our board, so you'd have some kind of format of know what was coming at you, that was either done, not done, or coming up. It was just a courtesy. It was never done before. Take that list of non-statutory duties, prioritize the list, taking off what has been done, adding additional items as necessary, and then assign the tasks to the fellow board members in order of importance, with the understanding that nobody has authorization to make decisions without board approval. That's an OMA requirement. This is a serious trust issue with this board. Trust, honesty, character, and ethics are necessary qualities of leadership, so this board must start acting like partners instead of puppets. Thank you.
Hello, Jay Reedsma. I don't want to refute what Sally said, but it takes up too much time. I'm proud of my letter. I have nothing to object in that letter, and I don't care what Sally says. And you do not speak, it's my time, Sally, it's my time. You do not speak for me or for the township.
Be courteous to people, please. Please, everyone, let's be courteous.
I didn't start it.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
With all due respect, I'm just gonna cover a couple of the points I made in the letter. And it was a point, the point of the letter was, I'm upset with the board, the way they run their business here. It's as if Trudy Mays is in control of the rest of the board members don't speak up and act as if they're independent positions. And to that point, I'm confused how Trudy got the position of sewers. It's not part of her statutory duties. She assumed that position. The board did not appoint her to that position. I cannot find any board motions to that point. Secondly, and to that point, the board members, because they're independent, do not report to the supervisor. They can obviously agree with the supervisor, or they should be disagreeing with her, especially on some of the issues. There appears to be no board meeting minutes nor a motion to justify her sewer engagement, which I just said. This is a must for board to assure all financial matters come before the board. Sewer assignments for the supervisor or any other person should be board motions. I'd like the board to wake up. You're not meeting your fiduciary responsibilities, given the fact that a fiduciary responsibility in government refers to acting in the best interests of your constituents and stakeholders. Any one of you could ask her at a board meeting why she kept changing RFP causing delays. That's just one issue. Constituents must beg the board to comply with commitments made by her but not delivered. In summary, Mays made a choice to run for supervisor, but assumed the project lead for sewers. The board needs to delegate tasks, not the supervisor. Remember, the supervisor could have been an assessor if properly trained and qualified. And when you find a supervisor who isn't qualified, and we've had one of them in the past, you hire a trained certified assessor. Sewers require the same full-time subject matter expertise. As one resident commented, sewers is not a video game. You can play at your convenience and turn it on, turn it off when you want. So I'm asking for the same thing that I think that Janet asked for. It's time for a phase 3 sewer meeting workshop in which citizens and board members can participate in the development of a plan with dates, deliverables, and assignments. And I'm also asking that the board publish a position for a sewer lead with a job description for phase 3 sewers, whether it's volunteer or unpaid or paid, it doesn't matter. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Anyone else with board comment or with public comment on agenda items?
I would like to jump in
Sure.
on the heels of Mr. Reesma's not so eloquent discourse. I'm kind of new to the position, so my background is to try to get as much information as I can before I open my mouth. That generally has kept me out of trouble. What I did is I contacted a number of different people, even going back to Mr. Jakeway and the situation he had with the board recently, and I asked some pretty pointed questions. Also contacted the legal people for the board, and I can sum it up this way. The Supervisor Mays was not in a legislative role when she was meeting at the way Mr. Reesma was characterizing it. She was acting as a liaison for the township's sewer project because her role is limited to administrative functions and does not involve the exercise of legislative authority. The resident's contention that the supervisor is running the project is not supported by the facts, as the board retains ultimate decision-making authority and oversight. Additionally, Michigan law does not impose any specific qualification requirements for a supervisor to serve in this limited capacity, and the delegation does not give rise to fiduciary concerns absent evidence of bad faith, self-dealing, or conflict of interest. However, not required by law, I was advised that the board should confirm that Super Maves' designation as a liaison should be approved through a formal motion at a public meeting. The board should clearly define in the motion the scope of her responsibilities and authority. And in that spirit, I'd like to motion to confirm Supervisor Maves as the designated liaison for the Township Sewer Project, a role that is limited to administrative functions and does not involve the exercise of legislative authority.
And I support that motion. Point of order, please stop visiting in the back.
We forgot our gavel.
Do we have, so we have a motion made, and we have support. Any other comments?
I agree. You know, it isn't an easy job, and she took it on with the things that were left behind, and she's done a great job. She's doing the best she can. Yeah. That's exactly what I said. So you're always welcome to come to talk to her about the sewer projects coming on rather than bash. It just seems like the more adult thing to do. And she's handled it very well. Even when people are saying everything she does is incorrect, she still shows up every day. So I fully support the motion. You have my vote.
Any other comments? Shall we, all in favor, say aye?
Aye.
Aye. No, sorry, no, your time is done. Sorry, it's not public comment, Mr. Rietsma. That period has closed. I'm sorry, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We have to start being more firm on these meetings like the previous four used to be.
Motion carries unanimously.
Take time.
I would like to motion that we add a second person. It's always good to have a second set of eyes and a different perspective. Lori and Laura have statutory duties that obligate their time. I would put forth to the board that Tom Prout support me in this sewer liaison, only because, you know, again, two people taking a look at things catch something that one may not. That is my motion to add Tom Prout as a second person to this liaison position.
I support that.
I support that.
Thank you. Discussion?
I think that's a great idea, because two people are always better to catch things. We had help before, we need help now, so thank you.
Trudy, I'd like to say a point of order if I can. Only because this should be done during new business at the sewer and not even before you approve the minutes. It's completely out of order on your agenda.
I understand.
You could have put it in there with, you know, the sewer advisory committee or something like that instead of doing it now. And that's an issue.
I understand. Thank you.
That's probably my fault. I felt compelled to answer Mr. Riesman's comments. And it was not an agenda item.
Well, it
My
is switched in.
speaking up like that was not an agenda item at all.
So again, the motion is to add Tom Prout as a second liaison for the administration of the sewer. We have the motion made, support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, well, you're right, Janet. Okay, approval of meeting agenda. Do we have any changes? No? We need a motion, please, to approve the
I'll
agenda.
make that motion.
Thank you. Support?
I'll support the,
I support.
Thank you. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me, approval of the previous minutes from March 26th, 2026. I do have a correction or an addition. Under old business, page 1, Ronan's Place gaming license resolution, I'd like to add and approve gaming license.
So we made a motion.
Yes. Any other changes or corrections to the March 26, 2026 minutes? No? So motion to approve the modified, corrected minutes from March 26, 2026, please.
I make a motion that we approve the changes, the modified changes to the proposed meeting minutes and make them.
Okay, we have support for that?
I support.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, reports. Sewer update.
Good evening, Steve Cooper, Performance Engineers. Quick update on the sewers. The good news is construction work started this past week. Bad news, it's shut down. Yeah, it's water's a little higher than normal around here. Yeah, the subcontractor for Walton is Doug's Underground. They shot the 4-inch force main for Boulevard from Mack down to Birchfield this late last week, and they finished up, I believe, yesterday. They were going to continue and shoot the force mains for down the western part of Barbara, out around the Spit, and then under the Sturgeon River and out on Sturgeon Island, starting today. That's been postponed until things settle down a little bit. Walton Contracting was going to start digging in those lift stations at South and Mack Avenue down at the lakeside. They wanted to start it a week ago. Then they were going to push it or I think it started earlier. They were going to start this week. They pushed it to next week. That's kind of pending. We'll see how it goes the rest of this week. They really would like to get started on those lift stations, though. Yeah. But that's where we are from a standpoint of construction activity right now. It's just really wet out there if you haven't noticed. I'm working on the closeouts for the phase 1 contractors. They're still going to be doing some work. Mass Underground has to put in several more grinder pumps out on Columbus Beach Club and on South Prospect through this summer. They're coming in under budget though, and I'm scrubbing those numbers right now. We talked about it during the sewer meeting at 6 o'clock. We have some ideas how to kind of benefit the township with those excess funds coming in, or that we're not going to need. And it kind of dovetails with the Eagle Grant was set to expire at the end of June. I got that extended out till the end of August now, but they aren't going to extend it past that. They're pretty certain on that, they said. I've got a request out for proposals for from the contractors for adding some ejector pumps to take care of those phase 1 folks that are going to need an ejector pump and then have some left over for anybody that might need them later on as well when they're doing their hookups. And also, after the ice storm last year, we've talked quite a bit with the township staff and with the people that have been attending the sewer meetings, and we think emergency generator for each one of the lift stations is probably a good idea. They're all wired for plugging in one, and the plan was to originally kind of rotate them, which a lot of communities do, especially smaller ones like this and small lift stations. But after the ice storm last year, I think and a lot more people have generators at their house now. So even though they're on wells, they're making water during power outages, which we hadn't really banked on when the project was designed. Plus the money was really tight when this was all bid out. So we've got a request for proposal costs on the natural gas fired little generators. And I took a picture of one we have down in Kalkaska right now. You know, it's just a small Generac unit in the natural gas feed. So once we get those numbers in, we'll have a change order worked up with some recommendations for the township. Also, depending on how much is gonna be left over, we think we can direct some to help out the bathroom project. Maybe at least get the pipe dug in from the lift station over, so now that you have a site where you wanna put it, north end, not south end of the
Right.
parking lot there, so we can get some pricing on that as well. So we wanna make sure that these funds can be used fully up for the project and for the benefit of that. But we'll turn those recommendations over once we get them and let the township decide how they wanna handle that. We're on the street with bids opening on May 5th for the wastewater addition, for the new screen, the room for the chemical storage, and the storage building for all the stuff you guys are gonna have, pumps and other equipment and that are
Right.
kind of farmed out right now. We have a pre-bid meeting next Tuesday, we'll be up here for that, and then the bids, like I said, are due on the 5th, so we'll hopefully have that for your May 12th meeting. Unfortunately, I won't be here for that. This, as Bob alluded to, this is my last meeting, last scheduled meeting. You never know what can happen, but we did sell our house. We closed on it last week. We're closed on our Boise house this Friday. Right now, I'm going to be working through the end of this month full-time, and then I'll be moving during early and late May, that whole process. I have agreed to help as best I can remotely. I know I can't do the job I've done up here completely remotely, but I can help. I'm sure I can, even on maybe the PER, if our firm is selected for that, I can help with that as well. And I might be back for, who knows what happens. You never say never, but right now this is scheduled to be my last meeting. So, and I've lived in Michigan 3 times. I was stationed in the Coast Guard down in Charlevoix twice in the 80s and the 90s and that. Until the fall of 2022, when I got pulled in this project meeting with Bob, and that I'd never been to Indian River. And so I had no idea what it was like up here. I've gotten pretty fond of it. So, I appreciate you letting me help, on your project, and I wish you well.
Thank you, Steve.
You will be missed.
Aaron's the engineer on this project. It's been his baby all along. I was just kind of the midwife up here for this part of it. But,
Yeah.
he's still the engineer on the project, and he's the man. He's the one to go to on that. And I'll be trying to help him as best I can. That's why they hired me back in 2022, was basically to do whatever he didn't have time to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've tried to do. But any questions for me?
We know where to find you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any questions. I have leaned into you heavily for education and guidance, and I appreciate you. I will miss you. We will miss you.
Yeah, well, it's a nice little community. I'm glad we're cleaning it up.
Yeah.
In a literal sense.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
I don't know. Aaron, did you want to give us an update on the Arthur Street, or is there no movement?
It's still just in negotiation.
Okay.
on the treaty.
Okay, thank you.
I actually talked to somebody that did that. Was good.
Oh, good.
Not them, but we talked to somebody.
A person, good. That's a movement. Okay. All righty. Clerk's report.
All right, I have, the invoice register report with, 31 invoices in the amount of $26,300.15.
I did want to note that we have the final payment to Summit Fire for the installation of the fire suppression system here. The heat exchanger is in, working beautifully. We've passed our state boiler inspection. And yeah, so those are some big things out of the way. So do we have a motion to accept do you have any other questions? Well, do you have a motion to accept the clerk's report, please?
Yes, I'll make a motion to accept the clerk's report.
And support?
I support.
Thank you. Questions? No? All in favor to accept, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
All banks have been reconciled, and I've included, 2 reports for you to look at. And the only other thing that I have, right now is KCI is a company out of Kent County, and they print utility bills, sewer bills, tax bills, assessor's report, and we can't do it cheaper ourselves in-house. They just, because they do so much bulk mail, their rate is so inexpensive. So I am asking for permission from the board to sign my KCI summer tax bill estimate. We pay them up front for what postage we think, and then they only bill us for what they actually mail out. So right now we have 3,999 parcels. That's a little high than what we've had before, but they're still working on the database. So if we only come in with 3,700, they'll adjust that and we won't have to pay extra. So I just need the board to approve, give me the permission to sign this, as I ask 2 times a year.
Make a motion. I'd make a motion to approve the KCI contract.
I'll support that.
Any other questions on the PCI bill? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Oh, I should say any opposition? No. Motion carries. Okay. Correspondence, we did get 4 emails. 1 was requested to be put in. We've addressed that. Airport, no one is here. DDA, Dan Nybo.
I went down and talked to Mentor Township, excuse me. They are in favor of connecting the proposed pathway through to the trailhead. So that's been approved. We've had our initial drawings done. There's already some changes that have to be done, of course. So that's what we're working on there. We are checking right now into some signs you probably all saw the the red signs with the black lettering for the snowmobiles on the sidewalks. We're trying to get some regular street signs, 18 by 18 with no motorized vehicles on them, in red backing with white lettering, and it'll have the $500 fine on it, and it will have the
Ordinance
number on it. So that, we are working on that. We are not going to have a summer music series this year. Nothing came together, so we will not have that. Hopefully, in the future, we can get that going again, especially if we can get a pavilion or something built, which is still being talked about. And that's all we have.
Thank you.
Yep.
There is an opening on DDA.
Yes,
Yes.
if somebody wants to apply.
Yep.
It's really easy. I mean, it's an hour a month, basically. You can be any place in the township. We can have, checking the bylaws, we can take anybody from the township, because they're up to 2 people. So, we were always on the assumption that it had to be in the DDA district, but it does not have to be.
And those Mondays are the 3rd Monday
Third Monday,
at
7 o'clock.
Yep. Okay. FOIA, I don't know. I talked to Jonathan several times today with regards to the flood, and I forgot to ask him. So I can't answer that. Library, Miss Kelsey. Hi.
FOIA's before that.
I don't know how many.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was taking.
You're fine. I'm sorry.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I have a couple events to share for May. So our theme for May is blooms and butterflies. We will be raising butterflies starting at the beginning of May with the caterpillars. And you can come in during the month of May to watch them grow. And then we'll do a butterfly release sometime at the end of May, which is really up to the butterflies on when that one happens. So just keep an eye on our social media. We'll post about it. We'll put it up in the library when we are going to have the butterfly release. We're also doing a greeting card class on May 6th from 1 to 3 p.m. That's on a Wednesday. The sign up is on our website. You'll make a greeting card using watercolor paint, and it's perfect right before Mother's Day. We're also doing a wildflower hike with Little Big Adventure. The people who are Little Big Adventure used to be with the Little Traverse Conservancy, and then they decided to split off and form their own educational company. So that's who we're working with. They're great people. And that's for all ages. You can sign up on our website to attend, or you can just show up day of the event. We are meeting at the Melvin Family Hiking and Biking Trail at 3151 Bennett Road in Sheboygan, technically Topnavie. And that is Thursday, May 14th, 1 to 3 p.m. And we're also doing a 3rd annual spring plant swap, and that is on Saturday, May 30th from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Swap your extra seeds, plants, and gardening knowledge with others at the plant swap. The Friends Seed Library is also taking donations, and we'll have seeds to hand out, and no registration is required for that. And that's everything.
Very good.
Oh, and as far as the reading garden, just a little update. So we have been working to get a sealed drawing. We're working with Dross Landscaping right now to get that finished up. And so hopefully next month I'll be able to show something off. And then hopefully, once we go for bid, we can get digging started. We're really hoping June. So fingers crossed for that. And we're very excited.
Very good. Thank you. Parks. No?
There is.
Oh, there is. I know. I know.
Dang it.
My name is Pat McGinnis. At the last park meeting, we had a discussion concerning Nico becoming the grant writer, which the Township Board approved, and we agree with. We also had a agenda item on the Marina Park Pavilion, but no one representing that committee appeared before the park, so we tabled that discussion. We are planning on doing a police area at the green docks, designated area for the police to tie up the boat or the fire department to have immediate access to the river in case of emergency. We're gonna have signs put up. Doug has already made the cleats that will be necessary for the tie-up. While it's a designated area for the police or fire department to use, public use of it will be allowed, but public boating will not be allowed to tie up at that location. We are putting in a historical sign at the green docks. The display stand has arrived. It's up at the maintenance shed. The parks looked at the final draft representation, approved it, so that should be going in this coming month. It will have a QR code on the display linking it to a video about the history of the green docks. Top of Michigan, the Boat Race Committee has requested a display. We've taken it under advisement and are looking at what type of display and exactly where it would be. No final decision has been made on that. We had a discussion on a CIP millage request.
we have identified roughly $824,000 of needed equipment. None of it's for payroll, none of it's for anything except needed equipment. We have discussed it, and at the May meeting, we'll have a rough draft of what a request would be like. Remember, it's only a request. It will go on the November ballot. The public will vote yes or no, and we'll abide by what the public says. We had an update on the grant for the restrooms and stuff, and the township's gonna have a match of 25%. And as was mentioned in other reports, that the women's club has offered to come up with part of a match and stuff. Doug Schofield had submitted a letter of resignation effective June 19th, 2026. And because of that, we have requested the Township Board to put a job posting out, which I believe they have done. The county came to us asking for our input on a 5-year parks plan, which would be through NIMCOG, and participation would fully be covered by grant funding. Township, or most of the process would be handled by NIMCOG. The township would appoint a point person to coordinate. And let's see. We had Sally Snyder making a public comment, and Dawn Wood made a public comment. And then I myself, during board comments, mentioned the need for community support and funding to address the significant repair needs at Cooperation Park. There's a lot of, like the concession stand out there, that's ready to fall over. That's a liability. We have a new tractor we got with snow blower on it, but the other tractor, it doesn't work half the time. And that's for moving the heavy stuff. When Doug leaves, this pickup truck goes with him. We don't have a pickup truck that is safe to be on the road. So those are the reasons we're looking at the CIP and or possible millage request. We have stuff that needs to be replaced. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Busy meeting, busy month.
Can I add to that, please? We've had an opening on the Parks Commission for a long time, months. So people on Facebook that are complaining about what we're doing, I welcome you to fill out the application. You can, November, you can get on the ballot. So instead of complaining, get off your butts and get out there.
Yep. Okay, police report is in the packet. Chief is not with us tonight. He's just returned from being away, 30-hour trip home. I think he deserves a night off. The report is here. Anybody that might be interested, happy to make you a copy. Another busy month. And old business.
Okay, office assistant. So Chris was our office administrator, and I'm going to ask the board a couple different motions. So my first motion that I'd like them to do is we need to do a selecting official or officials for our open position. And it reads as this: the selecting official or officials will be designated by the Township Board, and it will be determined by the board whether to permit the selecting officials to have full hiring authority for each employment position to be considered, or require the selecting official to present qualified applicants' recommendations to the Township Board as a whole. The selecting official or officials may be the Township Supervisor, the direct supervisor of the department. Point of order, could you guys please stop chit-chatting in the back? You're always on us for wrong Robert's Rules of Order, but yet, thank you. I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to step out and have your conversations. The selecting official may be the township supervisor, the direct supervisor, or the department requesting employee, or an officer or employee of the township, and may be assisted by other township board members or township employees. I would like to make a motion that since Laura, the clerk, and myself, the treasurer, will be working with this person in this position, that we would both be named on as selecting officials for the replacing the position we have open right now in the office. That's my first motion.
I support that.
I'm gonna make the
Tom.
motion, and then we need support.
Lori made the motion, and Tom.
It's been a minute since I
You're
had to
okay.
take minutes.
So we have a motion on the table, we have
Yeah.
the support.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of appointing Lori Smith and Laura Decker as the selecting officials for this position of office assistant, say aye.
I,
Aye. Opposed? Oh, I'm sorry,
I did have
I'm
a
sorry.
question. So the officials would have either the hiring authority or.
Yes, which would you
Could
like?
you make
Yeah,
that part
I
of the
should have
motion?
put that, yes, I should have said that in the motion. So I would like to amend my motion by saying the clerk and the treasurer will be the electing officials, and we would like the board to give us full hiring authority for this position, so the two of us will make the decision, then we'll bring to you the candidate that we selected.
I support that.
Read the reason.
Yes. Do we have a wage range at this point?
No, we do not at this point. The clerk and I are gonna sit down tomorrow. We'll both be in the office. But the first thing we had to do was this.
We're gonna go over all the qualifications and duties and everything, and put it together as well.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table. The selecting officials will be Lori Smith and Laura Decker, requesting full hiring authority from the board. They will bring the candidate to the board. And that's been supported by Tom. Any other questions?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Yes.
My second motion in regard to this position is, at this time, we would like to make a motion, I would like to make a motion that we hire an additional office assistant, not an administrative assistant at this time. We'd like to start off with another additional office assistant, and then maybe later on, we will see about getting an additional administrative assistant. But we'd like to start this out this way.
So you're making that motion?
Yes.
I'll support it.
To hire a second office assistant.
And I also could not find anywhere in our policies and procedures that I had to bring a job description to the board. So,
I think we have an existing job
exactly.
description.
So we can post that after, if you approve this motion, then we can post that tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so Lori made the motion to hire a second office assistant.
I support.
And, and any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, Chamber of Commerce reciprocal agreement. It's pretty well lined out there. I did bring it before the board August 12th, and the agreement that was found in the office was not signed by the township. It was signed by someone at the chamber, but no one, to my knowledge, can recognize the signature. it was not dated. Therefore, based on legal advice, it was determined a void contract. And it is not required that I receive board approval to start negotiating the contract. I did take it before the board. I did take it before legal for advice and guidance. I did take it before the board at the August 12th, 2025 meeting. It was approved by the board, and I did date it, and I did put the same date as was signed by the chamber president, my error. So my question to the board is, how do you want to handle this?
Well, you made a mistake. You signed it on the same date that the chamber president did, but it was not in effect. Just because you signed it doesn't put it into effect until the board approved it. And then when the board approved it, that's when the agreement went into effect. So just the fact that you, and also our legal said she has every right to get into negotiations with agreements. And then once she's negotiated an agreement, then she brings it to the board and we approve it. And that's exactly what happened. Now, was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect, but again, a little bit of grace here, just a little bit of grace. We're new, we're trying really hard.
So do you want?
We keep it as is. There's been no harm done. The agreement's great. We had chamber director say how great it is. It's benefited us, the township. It's benefited the chamber. They have bathrooms next door. We have water for the bathrooms so people can flush and clean. And I think it's great. It's a win-win all around.
I agree. Okay, I don't know that we need a motion as much as just.
I say we make a motion.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, I motion that.
Okay.
I concur.
So, okay, Tom, do you want to, I'll write it down if you want to say it.
Okay. Okay, help me out here, Laura.
Together, we make a motion that there's no further necessary board action that needs to take place. Our contract, our reciprocal contract with the chamber is valid and is working well. Sorry, I got a little bossy
No,
there.
that's good, that's good. Couldn't have said it better.
I concur.
Okay, so are you ending, so that motion was made by Tom via Lori.
And I'll support it.
My
Thank you.
proxy.
Yeah, there you go. As approved.
Careful with your much.
By the board. 12th, 2025. Okay, any questions, comments, concerns? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Cleaning bid. We didn't really have a cleaning contract. So we set out to put it to bid. There was an existing agreement. We received 5 bids. They're attached. There's a summary sheet there. This room is shared with the library. So the cost of sharing this room will be shared with the library. The township's office cleaning costs are there. It is for the month. I don't think I titled that column. It's for the month. The bids follow. So the motion would be that we select a cleaner for the township and the shared space here.
Which includes out there in the bathrooms, right?
Yes, yeah, yes, thank you. So it's the offices, the township offices, this shared space, the foyer, the hallway entryway, and the ladies and men's restroom here.
And
then the downstairs, there's, out that exit, there is a stairway and then a hallway. And then in the immediate airlock foyer, there's a stairway and a shorter hallway. So it would include all of that as well.
Okay, and all these bids are just for the offices?
No, and it's our share of this and these
Okay,
other
okay, all right,
spaces,
thank
sorry.
you, thank you for
And
clarifying.
the bathroom area.
If you hadn't looked at the board packet before you got here, we had one at $1,600 a month, one at $1,790 a month. We have a a $714.50, we have a $650, and we have a $420 bid. So usually, you know, the only thing I'd like to say, is I would, Classic Clean is a 650, and she's been doing it, I think, since the building was built. But I also think this person that bid the least, I think deserves a shot. I think, they'll do a good job for the price. I think they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, but hey, you know, when you're in business, sometimes but I'd like to, award the bid to, my opinion, Christy Ninke, but since she's the lowest, I don't know how everybody else feels about it.
So is your motion to award the cleaning bid to, Ninky?
Yes.
Okay,
So how do we do that, Michael, if we want a motion for somebody else,
then don't support it,
and then we just, we didn't?
then it dies. So you have to make a motion, and then if it's not supported, it
Then we
dies,
just have
and
to
then
bring it
there's
back.
yeah.
Okay.
So the motion is to hire Ninky. Do we have, support for that?
What's the term of the, is there a contract? What,
2 years.
2 years?
Mhm.
Okay.
I think last month we had the RFP,
Mm-hmm.
and, yeah,
Okay. I'd support that.
okay. Support from Tom. Any other questions or comments, concerns? No? All in favor of hiring, Christine Inky for the cleaning, excuse me, 2-year contract, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a way we could do like a 30-day trial too?
I don't know the answer to that. We didn't put it in the bid.
We didn't, I didn't think about it until literally right now.
No.
Okay, so I got a little scared when I heard 2 years again.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's what I was gonna recommend.
okay. You know, let's do a roll call. Do you mind?
Not at all. Okay, so Tom,
I agree with Kelsey. If there's an opportunity, even if it's, you know, maybe
Yeah.
longer than a week or two, you know, 6
Well-
months maybe.
We can table this until May. When is?
Our
Let's-
meeting's next week, so we haven't done anything.
Okay.
can we
We
do
can
it now even though we already voted?
But
I'll
we didn't
rescind
do a
my
roll
motion.
call. We didn't roll call vote it.
And I can rescind my motion.
Okay, so motion rescinded. And we will table this to May.
Sorry, I didn't think about it.
That's okay. Nope, it's a good point. Consider
I like to try and buy.
30-day. Okay. Okay. Sounds good to me. All right, so that is tabled. 30-day trying. New business. Sewer bills, we already heard the sewer update, right? Weather throwing us a monkey wrench. The the KEO quote, this is for the plant. The old plant was offline for very overdue maintenance. They took it down this winter. We ran the plant with the new train. The maintenance and repairs on the old plant were completed, and there are old, so the motion is my motion is to approve the KEO invoice. That's my motion. And, it's to put the diffusers in and replace some of the checked hoses, that they found that were rotted.
I support.
Any questions or comments? The invoice, or excuse me, the quote is there to reinstall this. bring that back online. And we've got support from Tom.
Mhm.
And I don't think this will be done until after the water takes care of itself. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Set the annual meeting of the electors. Jonathan is not here. We have a policy and an ordinance to set an annual meeting of the electors, which is a day for the electors to come and make comment. We amended that ordinance, I don't remember when, but it'll be held in the last month of the fiscal year, which is June, any day that is not a weekend or a major holiday. I do not have a calendar.
I happen to have one.
So the motion is to set annual meeting of the electors. When's our June?
9th
See,
is
we'll
a
have,
regular board meeting.
so we'll have a sewer meeting. I don't know how we can squeeze all this in one day.
You want it held on the last day of the fiscal year, any day that is not a weekend. We have 29 is a Monday and the 30th is Tuesday.
We could do Tuesday the 30th. You want to do that? So I propose, my motion is to set the annual meeting of the electors on Tuesday, June 30th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Does that work? Does
Yeah.
that work for you?
6:30,
So that's my motion.
6 p.m. I support that.
Okay. Any comments, concerns, questions? Oh, go ahead.
I said no.
I just would like to also say that we are sorry we didn't have one last year. We were given advice that you can or don't have to, and somebody pointed out to us, appreciate that there actually was an ordinance that we needed to do. We were in our first budget, setting a budget, so we kind of got, so thank you for educating us. And so now here we are.
Okay, so the motion is to set the annual meeting of the electors Tuesday, June 30th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in this room. Support by Lori. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Sewer Advisory Committee. I would ask, the motion is to ask the board for authorization and approval to establish a sewer advisory committee. We have a policy in the policy booklet, appoint 5 but no more than 7 citizens to an advisory committee to establish a committee to help gather information and report same information to the Board of Trustees. The committee will be advisory with no decision-making capabilities. The committee will be guided by the Board of Trustees on matters concerning the sewer system. Members of this committee will not be paid nor reimbursed for any expenses incurred. It'll be an application process. We'll have some available tonight. We'll return to this issue in May. We would ask that these be returned 1 week before the May meeting. So my motion is written there in the summary that we appoint 5 but no more than 7 citizens as an advisory only committee, no decision-making capabilities, with no reimbursement to the committee members.
I support that.
Do we have support?
I support.
Oh, you did support it. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
And discussion.
I like Mr. Kramer's idea of notifying everybody in original phase 1, phase 2. But I'm trying to think what's the most cost-effective way to do it, because at 70 cents a letter. Plus, and our sewer bills already went out. And we want application, we could still work on it in May and people could still apply.
It's an option.
Postcards.
That's, I was thinking postcards too.
Postcard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, just throwing that idea out there because I thought that was a good idea because a lot of people don't, I know before,
Social media, right.
well, yeah, I mean, we will put it on our township social media, but I don't know how many people actually go out there and watch our Facebook. I honestly, I didn't even know we had
Okay.
one.
All right, well, we can, do you want to check into the cost of postcards and postage?
Still think we should move on the motion
Okay,
and approve that. Just
okay.
maybe a little bit more time for people to get their application in.
Okay, so you want me to amend my motion?
Yes,
That it
please.
would not be, we will not make the selection in May?
The sewer bill's not gonna go out until,
July.
yeah.
That seems like an awfully long time to wait, but yeah.
So we're gonna work on the postcard, get it out
Say
ASAP.
we keep the motion as it is and work on the postcards.
Okay, so do you want to keep it May?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, any other questions or comments? Tom?
Nope.
No? Okay. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Motion opposed? Motion carries.
Did you guys skip number 1, or did I just miss it about the bills for the?
There are no bills.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't, I just moved on past.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Did you hear that everybody's hoping that the sewer's gonna get started next week, but it's all dependent on,
Everybody.
okay. I can bring you up to speed after, okay. Okay. A sewer project coordinator. Yeah, our policy, federal awards policy requires the township to designate a project coordinator to perform all work associated with grant management for any projects funded with federal money.
Maybe just reiterate what we did earlier. So it's in the-
Sure.
We're gonna reiterate that motion that you made. To put it here again,
Okay,
so it's in the right order.
right.
Do you want to reiterate that?
Whatever your motion was originally.
You're making this hard now.
Just make it simple.
Okay, make a motion that we designate, no.
I might have written it down.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Same
This
thing.
is,
Right after
Semantics.
public comment is where you
Semantics.
wrote it.
what do we have?
Liaison or.
Well, this is a little bit different. This
Yeah, this
is
is
the
what-
project coordinator to
Right.
perform all the work
Okay. Sorry.
associated with grant management for any of the projects funded with federal money, which my understanding would be to accumulate the invoices, report them to the proper funding source. Keep the records, the files, binders, which is what we're doing. And then to submit the invoices for reimbursement.
And you've been doing that, right?
I have been doing that with Chris's help, yes.
I want to make the motion for Trudy to be the sewer project coordinator. She's been doing it this entire time. She's been keeping everything in order. And doing a great job.
Okay. The original motion was, and this is, I think, important because let me read it again. The motion to confirm Superintendent Mays as the designated liaison for the township sewer project, a role that is limited to administrative functions and does not involve the exercise of legislative authority. That was the
Right.
key.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So on this one, I just made the motion to have Trudy be the sewer project coordinator.
Same difference. Yep. sign. That
With
would
no
need support.
legislative authority.
Correct.
I need support.
Okay,
I support.
Yeah.
I support.
okay, any other comments or questions, concerns?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And again, it is with regret that I would share with the board that Doug Schofield, our maintenance supervisor, has surrendered his letter of retirement effective June 19th, 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need a motion to accept his letter, make a motion to accept his letter of retirement. Do I have support?
Absolute, yes.
Support.
All in favor to accept his letter of retirement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'd love to oppose that, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we will, the next issue is a maintenance parks selection committee. And that position will be posted on the website as well. So now we need to have a selection officials. And I would ask that we take this to parks as well, to have a parks representative. And their next meeting is, when is the next parks meeting? 2 weeks?
No, it's the first Tuesday of the month.
Okay. Tuesday, what's that date?
I'm getting it.
Thank you.
The first Tuesday of May will be the 5th of May.
At 6 p.m.
At 6
Okay,
p.m.
so we'll get a parks liaison representative there. And so we probably should have, a board of trustee member.
Yeah.
So Tom, would you be willing to sit in on that selection committee?
Sure.
Okay.
And
Okay.
again, there's that, do we give them the full authority to select the individual? Or do we want them to bring candidates to the board?
Yeah, they know what they need.
Okay.
Yes, yes. With full hiring authority. So the motion that I will make is to include a parks representative, and we'll take it to parks on May 5th and ask them to appoint someone to the selection committee for the replacement of our parks maintenance park supervisor. Board representative will be Tom Prout with full hiring authority. That is my motion. Do we have support?
I'll support that.
Thank you. And questions, comments? No? We'll have to, maybe tomorrow we can get that job description out and freshen.
Yep, just come down to my office and I'll pull it.
Okay, very good. Any questions, comments? I know I've asked it, but I'll ask again. No?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Public comments. That is all I have on the agenda. Public comments.
My name is Ryan Grandy, and I wanted to respond to Mrs. Snyder and Mr. Prout. As a citizen, I was at 2 transition meetings myself, but not all new board members even showed up, and those who did asked little to no questions. As far as people's behavior at meetings and on social media, obviously Mr. Prout was not around much when the last board was in charge, or he might understand better. I said the same thing from this podium then, and trust me, no one listened. My wife, along with Jay, was falsely accused of voter fraud and turned into the ACLU multiple times for no reason. My wife, along with the last board, was also accused of embezzling $450,000 on your campaign flyers. And if you don't believe me, I can bring them to the next meeting. My point being, you need to know the history before you start reprimanding people for their behavior. Thank you.
Any other board comments or public comments, excuse me?
I'd like to respond to Parks Commission meeting that I saw online. When the previous board was looking for additional funding to help with extra expenditures for the sewer projects 1 and 2, we applied for and received a state Michigan Eagle grant for $1.8 million to be specifically spent on health and safety projects in Phase 1 or costs related to Phase 1. We hope to have a small portion of that grant to be set aside for the Devo Beach bathrooms because that would qualify, as well as use it for plant upgrades. By applying for additional grant money, we were trying to help save the township additional expenses that would come out of general fund due to the required upgrades of the Devo Beach bathrooms. At April 7th, 2026, the latest Parks Commission meeting, the Eagle grant was discussed. However, not a single person on the commission investigated to see if any of those funds from Eagle were still available. Every one of the members just accepted the fact that there were enough funds left, and even Commissioner Alan Mays even said that the funds must have been moved somewhere else. Commissioner Pat McGinnis made a statement that we said that, me and Kramer, excuse me, that there was a line item grant for bathrooms. That's not true. Actually, I said our intention was to be able to use some of that money for the bathrooms when we applied for the grant. There's a big difference. There's no line item grant expenditure, period. So let me use this opportunity for a teaching moment for the Parks Commission and others. When the township receives a grant, there is no pot of money. You don't get a whole bunch of money stuck in some account that you can just take it. And I think, Trudy, you mentioned something to that tonight. The township grant coordinator actually issues invoices to the proper grant entity, that is deemed appropriate. That is the grantor, such as USDA, EPA, or GLE. They verify and authenticate the invoice to make sure it qualifies under their criteria, and then they give the money and they release the money into the grantee's account to cover that payment. That's exactly what you've been doing. The township is the grantee. Commissioner Mays, it is virtually impossible to move money somewhere else and to infer something inappropriate was done just because and was done is just irresponsible and shows your ignorance of the process. Second, the Parks Commission was remiss in their responsibilities for not investigating whether or not there was actually still non-committed funds accessible in that account. According to the most recent information I received, and that was tonight, there are available funds that are not committed. And there are also something called committed but not executed funds for some of the expensive items that might be able to be reassigned, which we talked about tonight at the sewer meeting, which would help cover some of the costs of the bathrooms. But did anybody investigate this possibility on Parks? Nope. So my advice to you, do your homework. Know what you're saying before you say it. Because once you make it in public, it becomes legal fodder, right? Public fodder for people to respond to. And so just make sure you have your facts accurate at your meeting. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe we can end this meeting on a positive note. I would like personally to thank Doug Schofield for everything he has done for this town and will probably continue to do for this town, but behind closed doors. And I can't thank him enough for everything he has done, from little to big stuff.
Yep.
Like the women's flowers. He'd get up at 5 in the morning and he'd go, not on company time, He would get up and he'd do it on his time. So if you see Doug, tell him congratulations and tell him he did a fabulous job. Yep. That's not.
It wasn't positive. That's very good. Thank you.
No, I was hoping we could end with that.
No, I want to go through some history here.
Oh, I'm in full
Time now. Okay.
Tom, I'd like to set up a meeting with you to kind of educate you
Yeah,
on where,
like that.
how things transpired and how I came up with what I had to say. But let me bring this up. Sally, I think you remember when Bobby Blazovic accused me of getting into her computer.
Let's not go there, Jay, because you accused
No,
my
no,
husband.
no, you can't say that.
You're just gonna let her interrupt and you'll order on everybody else?
This is his.
I'm gonna make it
Say
short.
anything you want.
She accused me of getting into her computer. It's a false statement. She came back in the next special meeting and apologized for doing that. And Sally stood up and said, we should call the state police and have you arrested right now. So for me to make incendiary, or whatever you want to think of it as, comments, it goes both ways, and it has gone both ways. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Thank you.
Public yes, ma'am.
And
Okay, I'm glad I made it back here before the meeting ended. Two things. One, where's Doug? Doug, thank you, if he's not here.
No,
He's not here? Oh, crap. All right, but he did tell me that he still plans on watering our flowers. He will not give up his secret sauce. So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
I just left the county, planning and zoning, master plan meeting. And we will be sending out surveys in the coming weeks. There will be two. One for the master plan update, which will now cover Tuscarora Township because we don't have our own anymore.
Right.
The other will be for the Parks and Recs 5-year plan update. It was not due until December of 2027. However, the county, NEMCOG got some grant money and they had excess. They came to planning and zoning, told us they had excess, and invited us to participate at no cost. So they will be updating the county-wide, and there will be a section in there for, I believe it's Tuscarora, Benton, Beaugrand, and one other township that will participate and have their own. So we'll be covered for any future grants, and there will be no cost to the township.
Nice. Yes, thank you.
thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
See how easy that was.
Any other public comment? Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Oh, board comment, sorry.
Uh,
No board comment?
no
Yeah,
this?
what's one last thing? I'll make it short. I want to, again, publicly, McGinnis's were kind enough to record a video of me apologizing again for the flyer. They had my face on it, but I had nothing to do with doing that. And I just want to apologize again for that in public at a meeting. I know somebody asked me on the side if I would do it at a public meeting, and since it was brought up again, I want to, and hopefully then we can move past it and move beyond it.
Can you tell us who did know about it? 'Cause
I am-
somebody did it.
I am not aware of who made the flyers. I didn't even get the flyers myself in my own mailbox.
I never even got one.
Hey,
He's the one that sits back
Hey,
here and
this
heckles us the whole meeting, your husband.
this
The
is
whole meeting, he's
motion
like
to adjourn,
I support that.
8:33.
No,
This
different
isn't
than everybody
Mr.
else.
Randy.
Talk to your husband, he's the one that's in our ear the whole meeting.
Mr. Randy, this is not,
Talk to your husband.
this is not.